is the cool thing about recording the meeting is that anyone who had delays or couldn't stay for the whole meeting has the opportunity to go to our YouTube channel, which is 75 people strong and growing. Certainly subscribe to our channel. All of our coffee meetings recordings are there. If we appreciate if you'd use the chat box to post your questions, and obviously we'll open it up for questions. We are actively monitoring it with the help of Kaya Argman, who's going to be helping me keep an eye on that. And again, everyone, if you have not introduced yourself in the chat box to everyone, put your company name, and where you're located would be awesome. A little history on the coffee meetings if you haven't been to one before. We've been having these since 2021 during COVID, when we were creatively trying to find a way to get people together and, still have some connection and a place and opportunity for dialogue. And so they became wildly popular, and we are going to continue them for good with a mix of in-person meetings during the year as well. But we found that many people found the convenience of not having to trek to a meeting and actually join these groups was beneficial to them. And I have to agree. I think it's been really, really great. And if you haven't muted yourself, I am trying not to do a mass mute on here. Please be sure to mute yourself. Thank you. Okay. So that was a little history of the meetings. And like I say, they're going strong. After we hear from the panel today, and if time permits, we'll open it up for anyone that wants to stay on and talk about what's happening with the association. We have some upcoming events and activities going on, and we'll answer any questions people might have. I appreciate your participation. Before we begin, I'll just review with you who are our board of directors. Kaya Argman, Flash Limousine, he is our treasurer. Bill Battisti of Nationwide Bus Sales, Beth Cox of Cox Livery, Lynn Kafkas of Galaxy Limousine, Michael McDaniels of Shriver Transportation Insurance, Art Rento of Pontrelli Companies, who is also our vice president, Brian Sheely of Epic Limo out in Indiana, and me. You all know me. I don't need any introduction. All right. So today's topic is one of my favorites. We decided to take as some of you may or may not know, we've done a couple of affiliate panels, actually one last year and one the year before, and we did a combination of global operators and US operators. This time, we decided to go global completely and ask folks to come in and share with us their insights on what it takes to create and build and manage that worldwide network. A lot of the dialogue the last session that we did, I think it was in February, kind of leaned toward that as well. So today we're going to go strictly global, and I hope this helps a lot of you to learn more about what it takes to develop a network, to work with each other, and to best serve your customers. So I'm going to ask each of our panelists, we have 3 panelists today, to go ahead and introduce themselves, starting with Richard.
Thank you, Paula.
Hi,
everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, perfectly.
Yeah, okay. Hi, everyone. Good morning, everyone. Good evening for the other ones on the other side of the globe. I'm Richard de Krijger. I'm 61 years old. I am 37 years in business. That includes my first drive as a taxi driver in Amsterdam. Running currently DMC Limousines Global VIP and Executive Transportation. I started with the international work after Uber released themselves in Amsterdam. In the first period of 1 year, we helped them out becoming what they are not, or what they not became. After that, I got connected and affected with the international work and international transportation, and that's how I grew up to what we are right now, running a IL fleet with 35 cars. That includes sprinters and minibuses. Yeah, what could I say more? I'm happy still and working hard after Corona was ended.
Thank you. Okay, next, Myles Flood. Myles, take it away.
Hi, everybody. My name is Myles Flood from LFL Worldwide Chauffeur Services in Dublin, Ireland. We've been in business 18 years. Before that, I was in the grocery trade. I worked with a company, for those of you in the United States, they would be very similar to Wegmans, Whole Foods, very high on customer service, very high on fresh foods. While I was working for them, that company put me through college. I got an MBA in retailing and distribution while I was working for that company. And I decided to go out and try something else. And I always felt that transportation was something where I could bring my customer service skills to play. And we started out mostly doing a lot of retail work. And then we evolved into a fully corporate company now offering worldwide service. And the very first international affiliate job we ever did for somebody, we did for Jim Luff, who's on the call today. Jim, before social media, we used to be in, and Tim as well, used to be in, there was a forum, an online forum, that where a few of us met. God, it must be 12, 14 years ago at this stage. And so before I met them in person at the shows, I used to know Jim and Tim from that online limo forum. And still love the business. It's tough, as everybody knows, but I'm still as passionate about it today as I was when we started.
Thank you. Amy?
Yes. Yes, I'm very happy to meet you here. And I would like to say good morning, everybody. And although it is very late here, but I think it is my honor to have a chance to meet you together. I'm one of your Illinois party, your Illinois team. Yeah, I'm very happy to be here. And I established the Amy Express in 2008. Well, it sounds like a very long time. And the first company is in Hong Kong. And step by step, we established a company in China. And we have a joint venture in Tokyo. So we are going to be have the available to cover lots of cities in Asia. And we will moving to Thailand, some other small cities afterwards. And we have a lot of corporate clients like ILLBA, BlackRock. And I think the very big progress in during my set up my company and my managing my company is that I'm going to use the Limo Anywhere system. It is a global limousine platform. It is a how to say that, making our company can go globally. And the next step is that I would like to thank the GNet. GNet also amazing product. It makes us go furthermore on that road. So we can meet a lot of affiliates, and we just seeking their help. We can tell our corporate client that, hey, we can help you worldwide. And we are very confident to find the companies which GNet, because we think they have commitment to do their business. So we trust that platform. So we will farm out some jobs to affiliate. Also, we can get jobs from affiliates. It is a mutual benefit. I think it's a great things, and then we can making friends globally. Yeah, I think it's very nice to to establish a global company. Very happy thing.
All great points, Amy. Thank you so much. And I'd be remiss if I didn't thank our friends from Grid and GNet this morning. Reza, Sharon, and Yasmin are here. If we all have any questions or issues that we want to pop up during the dialogue, we will have them right with us. Okay, great. I'm going to start the questions with the panelists. And again, if you have any questions or anything, you can raise your hand, but we recommend that you use the chat box today, and myself and Kaya will be monitoring it. Okay, so let's start with marketing. What kinds of marketing and sales strategies have you found in your organization to be effective in selling around the world, and why? I'll start with whoever would like to start. Richard, Myles, whichever one of you would like to start.
I did not advertise directly to my clients. The problem is that we in the Netherlands do not have too much corporate client ourselves, and that all has to do with competition of local taxi drivers offering their lowest service possible with a reasonable quality of level of quality. So the corporate is not really interested. Our corporate clients we have, it's just a matter of offering our services. So if you have a corporate client and you're doing not any global or international transportation for this client, it's just a matter of asking. If you don't ask, you will never know. So once the booking comes in, mostly with the bigger corporates, it's going to be via an executive assistant. Just ask the executive assistant, okay, Mr. A is flying to New York today. Would you need any transportation over there? And then the next question will be of the A, if she doesn't know, okay, can you arrange that? Yes, we can. And that's how it starts.
Right.
So I do not actively advertise, but I do offer any transportation, and I always do, even if the EA already knows, because they are not always realizing that we are accommodating in mostly any city globally. So she knows we do New York, she knows we do DC, she knows we do Hong Kong, but then the next stop will be in Australia, and they don't realize that we also do Australia. It's just a matter of offering.
So more of a direct marketing, one-on-one.
Yeah,
yeah,
one-to-one. Yeah.
How about you, Myles?
Very similar story to Richard's in that while worldwide is in our name, it really is it's more of an education than a sales and marketing program, I would say. And the key to the whole thing, again, as Richard says, is EAs, executive assistants, company travel managers, and letting them know that you offer the service, and more importantly, that you'll manage it. You'll do the due diligence on who's going to be driving the principal. They'll get one invoice in their local currency at the end of the month. They don't have to go online and start looking for somebody and working out currency conversions. You'll do all that, and you'll give them one invoice. You'll do the due diligence on who's going to be there, security-wise, and everything like that. You'll know the pickup programs at the various airports and be able to feed that into the booker and let them know. But the EAs are the key. If there's anything in your area like associations of EAs, that's a really good place to start in letting them know. Because sometimes, and I've seen it, that you mightn't have much of their local work, but you will get their international work because, as Richard says, they might have a cab driver or a guy that will do it for them, but obviously they can't service their international work, and you start getting it that way.
Thank you.
So over the years, we've had to find, some strange places where you wouldn't imagine there's chauffeur transportation. And Richard's being very modest. He did a very big event last year, and he had to find some service in some very, very unusual places. Kazakhstan, Richard, was it?
I missed that one. What was the question, Mark?
I said you're being very, very modest. You've had to find service in some very unusual places last year for that big event. Kazakhstan.
We did a huge event in Europe for an US affiliate as a satellite operator, because we also offer for affiliates to take out the hassle regarding the time difference. So we just have a small markup than we would do with our corporate clients. And we had, well, I think it was about 11 countries in Europe, all major cities. We did a complete Europe tour for a US artist. And we have been accommodating that for about 13 weeks. And one of those partners was Myles indeed. And it was really a major job. And but I was really fortunate to have one of my staff members was so proud and dedicated to do it. He only slept a couple of hours per day, and he wanted to do the whole mission himself. So if I would have to do it myself, it would be a no-go. That's serious, because it does. And for those who haven't doing international work yet, the first job you're sending out, it will give you a sleepless night in the first weeks, and then after you get used to it, and then you sleep again.
I think that's a very fair point.
Yeah.
So Amy, what about you? Marketing and sales.
Yeah, I totally agree that EA is a key person that you need to sell your worldwide policy, something strategy, some product and service. And when you make them, when you finish a job, then make the passenger and EA very happy, then you can, this is a good chance to tell them that you can serve worldwide, some place, New York, some place, Boston, someplace. Maybe at the very recent time, they will not use your service, but they have the information that you can provide. Also, you made very good job for them in local market, so they will trust you. So it is a very good chance to tell them that information that you can serve them globally.
Thank you. Okay. I'm keeping an eye on the thing here. How about for our next question, let's talk about service levels and expectations. When you're working with affiliates, what do you expect from your affiliates and what can they expect from you? I know that's kind of a broad question, but in this whole affiliate management situation, there's two people trying to make one customer happy. So I guess my question more along the lines is, what kinds of service levels do you expect from your affiliates and vice versa?
I'll lead on that. Go ahead, Richard.
Yeah, go ahead, Myles. I was first just before. You go first now.
Thanks.
Such gentlemen.
I was going to say that the technology is the key now, and as Amy alluded to earlier on, that Gina, we actually changed software providers early stages of the pandemic, and the key thing that the company we switched to weren't on GNet at the time, and it was a deal breaker for us that they integrate, and in fairness they did, and they worked very closely with Amir and Yasmin and Shiram, and they're up and running on it now, and that was a big deal breaker for us. But not only is having the technology, but having everybody on your team trained on it and to know how to use it and how to read it. Some big affiliates that we work with, they, you see them in the social media groups and they're all about, oh, GNet, we use GNet, we use GNet, but their teams aren't trained on it. You're getting phone calls looking for driver details for jobs, but the information is already in GNet if they use it. So if you're going to buy into technology, it's train everybody on your team that will interact with it on how to use it properly and how to read it. Before you pick up that phone at 2 a.m., check the system first to see if the information that you need is already there. But in terms of service levels, again, it's a comfort feeling from using tried and trusted affiliates, meeting them at the shows, knowing how they operate, and Operationally, we don't find too many issues with vehicle type. Yes, there's different vehicle types all over the world, but the capacity, once the capacities are right, we don't find any difficulty in that. It's our biggest issue is probably the adaptation of the technology and making sure that everybody knows how to use it and is aligned and has all their alignments done properly on GNet.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I can adjust to that. What Myles already mentioned a little bit is that expectations of how your affiliate will perform on the street, it also depends on their local market. So basically, a drive from A to B is pretty the same in every city globally. So what we expect is, well, let's say different. Myles tipped already that to know about your partner, the best way to do is to meet them at the shows, because then you have the looks and the feels with your partner, and that tells you enough what he will spread out to the team as well. It's not always a guarantee, but the feelings should be good in a personal meeting. And if you are looking for an international affiliate for a job in any city possible, and you are looking for the best rate, even if you put a monkey in a Rolls Royce, it remains a monkey, right? So yeah, it's just a matter of know your people, and the best way to do is attending the shows and talk to them and explain your needs. It's also with some affiliates that I always choose my affiliate based on what I know of my client. He's CEO and he does not appreciate any upgrades, not at all.
Okay.
So in that, yeah, so he wants to have it standard, all standard. He doesn't want the S-Class, he doesn't want a VIP SUV, he just wants the standard sedan. If it's a Cadillac or a Mercedes E-Class, he don't care, it should be standard. And when there are affiliates, they have really nice and niche cars, and yeah, I won't choose them because my client will be not appreciating it. So it's also a matter of knowing what your client wants, and if you don't know, ask their assistant. Hey, would he mind if we do an upgrade? Would that? And then you get the answer. It's just knowing what you have to do. That's very important.
And part of that is aesthetics, isn't it? I mean, we have clients that absolutely do not want to be in a high-end vehicle because they are in the consulting or the banking industry and they're pulling up to a client's office. And they're saying that is not a good look. We need to be in a, like to your point, Richard, standard sedan, no frills. Sometimes they get happy when you show up in a Ford. So I mean, it's getting to know that clientele is so important.
Yeah, it's expressing your expectations to your affiliate.
Yeah, absolutely.
If they don't know, they can't know.
Right. It's different in every city for sure.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Amy, any thoughts on this?
Yeah, I would like to share some my feelings, my experience. When I select the affiliates, I will not select the cheapest one. I'm not focused on the pricing. I will accept the reasonable price, but I focus on the quality. Your car, if the newer car and the chauffeur in a formal dress and I report the driver status, I think this is the basic thing that the affiliates need to provide. This is the basic thing. And one thing, what I'm thinking it is very important is the quick response. For example, when we contact one affiliate, they can give us very good feedback in email or something. But when we have some emergency things, we just call them, no one pick up the phone. So I will worry about this, especially in the net time of their local time. So I'm worried about this. I will select the affiliate who can cover 24 in the 7 days. It will make me safe because I can find them. And also the second thing is that when we call up affiliates, The
what's the
phone
name of
call will give a long music. Let us hear.
Okay. I don't know what happened there. I heard some
Yeah,
noise.
yeah, I'm
Sorry,
continue. I
Amy.
can, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I continue. Is that okay?
Yes, please.
Okay, yeah, then the phone call will tell me press 1, press 2, press 3. Oh, I cannot bear that. It will waste a lot of time. So when the client call us, we just pick up the phone and say, oh, sure, what we can help. Let me know your reservation number. It will be very fast and it will save our own time. So I think the quick response is the very important thing that can give the feedback in short time. So this is what we expect that affiliate can do.
So one of our guests has a question. If and I guess this be directed to Amy or all of you. If you make a phone call and there's no answer, does texting or alternative ways of communication help for you?
Yes, of course. WhatsApp. WhatsApp is a very efficient way. Yeah, we can accept it. No problem.
I want to respond to that one. I
Yes.
banned WhatsApp in my team, definitely.
Mhm.
Because WhatsApp already brought us a service failure where the EA booked a standby service and as directed. The communication was over email, and she had a change, and she texted it via WhatsApp.
Oh,
And the one of the agents confirmed, but he didn't process it. And then the client called, hey, where is the car? Because the client is waiting. He can't see the driver. Where is he? So I thought, well, he's at that hotel. No, he was supposed to be at the other hotel.
mhm, mhm, mhm.
And to find out where it went wrong, we banned WhatsApp. Every communication should be going via email. Also for history purposes, because if you are having a request of something from the history, you have to look. If you're using Telegram, WhatsApp, you have WhatsApp Business, you have WhatsApp Prices, Private. You have to look in 5 different channels to find out where the communication has been. We do it via WhatsApp, via email, and if the client doesn't get a call and the staff member is able to reply via WhatsApp, why didn't he answer the phone?
Right. That makes sense.
We use WhatsApp internally, but we don't use it for communicating with affiliates for one-on-one rides. Mainly because you're calling an office number, whereas obviously WhatsApp's on a cell. If we do an event overseas, we might create a WhatsApp group for all the drivers and the various people in the group who are doing the event. But as Richard said, there's no train, there's no trail of if something goes wrong, it's he said, she said, and there's no trail on it. You know, if somebody's accepting international work or doing international work, the phone needs to be answered. Unfortunately, that is if you're operating in other time zones, other parts of the world, your client expects somebody to answer the phone. They expect you to answer the phone, and they expect the person doing the job to answer the phone.
So David, you had a comment?
Yeah. Listen, I'm a very paranoid, cynical New Yorker, servicing New York corporate clients, New York City corporate clients for the last 38 years. And because of my issues and problems, basically, I've literally visited well over 4,000 limousine operations throughout the entire world. And I generally do it, and I often recommend that even when you go on vacation, okay, you're flying someplace, hang out at the airport, okay? All right, you might be with family or whatever, but observe the vehicles pulling up and pulling out, okay? This way you see the actual services that are being performed. And when I like what I see, I go to the chauffeur and I ask him for a card. Now, a lot of times I will drop in on the fly at a company, all right, make believe I'm looking for a job driving, and I want to read the corporate culture. All right. So this is important. All right. You need to see the actual realities on a lot of these. All right. I mean, I'm servicing, like a lot of other people, high-level corporate executives. And I like to know exactly what the end result is going to be for them. The other thing is, what I often recommend is, okay, the internet, I could read, you take a look at the web page, okay? As far as I'm concerned, that's wonderful propaganda, okay? As long as you're paying for the right, all right, it could be beautiful, but that's not the service, all right? I often recommend, in order to back that up, get their address, okay? Go to Google, put in their address, take a look at what you see. Now, it's not going to be relative to today. It's 6, 7 years old, all right? But you're going to get a general idea. Is it an office building? Is it a garage? All right. Is it farmland where there's nothing there? Okay. Uh, so that, it's not exact, but you'll get a general idea of where they were or coming from. And a lot of times you will actually see the garage and the facilities and the cars in front. So you'll get a much better idea. Those are basically some basic recommendations.
Thank you. I think the theme I'm hearing from the panel is that technology is here, but for each relationship, you need to develop how you're going to work together, how you're going to communicate, what methods will be used so that there's no mistakes to execution, and following through. Because we do have a variety of ways to work together these days, but I think what I'm hearing is establishing how that's going to happen up front seems to be extremely important. We have a couple more questions for the panel, and please please jump in. We've talked about it already, but let's kind of wrap it as what are some of the challenges additional challenges you face in working across the globe? For example, the vehicle types are different between countries, the time zones, which is everybody's favorite issue, customer service hours, cultural differences in how you handle services, as well as currency, billing, payments, that kind of thing. I kind of rolled it into a lot of different things, but we can break it out into, differences in vehicles and stuff, the time zones, etc. What stands out for any of you?
For us, it's probably time zones and flight arrival days. For example, now we a lot of our work is flights from the United States landing into Dublin, but they arrive the next day after they take off, and at least once a week we get a no-show at the airport because somebody has given us the day they're flying, not the day they're arriving. You make a phone call, somebody's in bed and they're arriving tomorrow, and at least one a week we get of those. So that's something that's very important, especially for US operators booking overseas. It's the day that the flight arrives more than the day that the flight departs. Is a big one to check. The pickup procedures at various airports. In all overseas airports, you can't meet at baggage claim, like you can in US airports. The customer needs to collect their bags and come through customs. So it's an arrival hall situation for meets. So that's different. And again, we get calls. Our client is at baggage claim and they can't see the driver. The passenger needs to pick up their bags, come through customs, and that's where they'll see the driver. Your driver hasn't showed, our customer's there. Well, where exactly are they? Well, they're at the baggage claim. Well, no, the driver can't go into baggage claim because it's a customs area. They need to come out. So there's little differences like that when you're doing international work as opposed to domestic work that you need to be aware of. And one that a lot of people don't think of is you need to watch how you're paying your affiliates overseas in terms of credit cards. Most credit cards charge a processing fee for using a different currency. So the new cards that are out there that don't charge these fees are very, you might think you're racking up Amex points by paying your affiliates with your Amex, but you're also paying a 2 to 3% fee on foreign exchange, and that's not built into your rate. You know, the
Right.
margins are really tight on this type of work, and you have to know your pricing and what the job is costing you down to the penny.
That's a
Myles, question about that arrival, that error on the arrival date. Is that obviously, in my mind, thinking logically, there's going to be some correspondence with the client that, hey, they're not leaving the U.S. or wherever they happen to be until this date. They're not going to arrive at their international destination prior to them leaving. Correct? I mean, they're not going to arrive in Ireland
No,
before they.
not in Ireland. But if they go west, it could happen. If they're leaving the United States to go west, to go to Australia,
Okay.
New Zealand, they can arrive earlier. They can arrive earlier than they departed. It doesn't happen that too much with us on affiliates, Tim. It's mostly on the retail and the PA side. With newer clients, they might not be used to their executives traveling, and you get the wrong information. It's more of something to watch out for when you start doing that type of work, that you get the right information from your client before you pass it on to your affiliate. That's probably just where
that makes more sense, because I figured, at least internally in my mind, I think, well, it makes sense for them to arrive at this time, given that they are departing their city of origin, wherever that happens to be at this time. So, okay, thank you.
It mostly happens with flights flying from US overnight to Europe.
yes.
So it most happens that in early morning pickups for us up to 12 p. I mean, then we have these kind of service failures. So any flights that leave just before 12 midnight from US, they already passed the time zone, and for us it's the next date already. And in those flights, we mostly may have the problem.
Yeah. I mean,
Correct, and that's something I didn't think about. That is something that happens for people, here in the States that are flying from the West Coast to the East Coast. They might take off at 9 p.m. in Las Vegas and arrive at 1 a.m. in Chicago, and they don't think about the fact that 1 a.m. is the next day.
right.
Yeah.
I think, well, being in Chicago, our neighbors are Indiana, and we constantly have issues where we have to remind people that once you get to a certain point in Indiana, it's Eastern time. So we're particularly, in my company, we're particularly more hypersensitive to it, because when we're working with international affiliates, it can confuse them. But we're leaving Chicago and going to South Bend. Yes, but South Bend is on the Eastern time zone. So we reiterate it multiple times with the affiliate, so that they understand that the time where the customer is going to be this particular time. So it's plus a world clock is very useful. We have one on our computers to help us stay on top of the times. How about customer service hours? Because I know in the last session that we did last year, there was a lot that we had some conversation about not everybody globally is a 24/7, or they have different, satellite services and things like that. So I know here in the US, many operators expect others to be available 24/7, and that isn't necessarily the case. So tell me how you handle service for 24/7.
We're finding lately, Paula, that a lot of, especially on inbound affiliate work, that a lot of US operators are using offshore facilities for their overnight dispatch. And there is a big lack of training with some of these folks, and they might be handling phone calls for several different companies, working with several different systems, and feeds back into my earlier point about the technology. And they're ringing for driver details at 2 a.m. for a 5 a.m. job, and if they check the if they checked in their GNet dashboard, the information's already there. So that's vital. That if you can't just give that overnight dispatching to an offshore company and leave them. The people have to be trained. They have to know how to use it, and be okay with it before they start picking up the phone. It's not a problem if you pick up the phone, but it is a little bit annoying if the information, you already have the information and you're ringing for information. You're getting somebody out of bed at 2 a.m. for information you already have.
It's a problem we have here too.
A big game changer in this matter is GNet, because the overnight phone calls we get from US affiliates for driver information, we send it always from the Netherlands at 4 p.m. to anyone. It's a standard. Our system shows if the driver details have been sent or shared with the booker. And still, those who are sending manually farm out, those are the ones that are calling us overnight. Hey, can I have the driver details for the pickup at 7 a.m.? And if you have GNet, it's all there. If you've set it up properly with GNet, then the GNet is synchronizing or syncing the driver name. That's a game changer for us overnight, answering the phone, especially for affiliate work. And regarding in general 24/7 customer services, we do not retail in the Netherlands ourselves. Now and then, just a website booking, but we are not seeking for retail work, because in general it brings you also a lot of phone calls, because we experience that if you sell a job, you have to sell it 5 times to have the execution of the job. So it's time consuming, and with customer care or customer service available 24/7, it depends. The more you communicate, the less you have the calls to check. And again, GNet is there a part of it that we have for a lot of affiliates that are not using GNet, or it's going to change now because Santa Cruz is connected. But we have a lot of affiliates that do also the verbal calls after a manual farm out. And with GNet, the verbal confirmations are reducing.
Good.
Down.
I like the point that was raised about the call centers, and unfortunately, I wish I had thought about having a couple of the call center people here. That probably would have been a good thing. Maybe in the future we should do that, because that's a very important point. The timings and the hours of service, and then they're taking over and potentially calling people, waking them up when they really have the information in hand. That's probably a very important education for the call centers to make sure everybody's on sync. Any other thoughts on that? Amy, you're 24/7, correct?
We are 24/7. We also have some sales email from some call center or something to introduce their call center service, but I don't like this. I don't think this is a solution. So we have our own night shift college by our company. So the college, we are the same, training her, and she can do all the like daytime college. So I think it will make sense.
Okay, that's kind of cool. All right, I'm going to move on to another question that always gets a lot of attention. What is your view, panelists, regarding affiliate discounts? Do you offer them? And if you do, great. If not, why not?
We offer them. It's standard 15%, and basically it's the affiliate discount is basically meant as a compensation for marketing costs. Because if you are doing marketing to get your corporate clients, you have to make cost advertising and etc. With affiliate work, you don't have that cost. It's only a matter of networking and get yourself named in recommendation, so you don't have to make any cost about that. And in that case, if it's worth 15%, who knows? But it's a kind of industry standard that there is an affiliate discount applicable because of saving the cost of marketing. And if it's 20 or 15%, that's about the average. I think it's common in affiliate discount.
Myles?
We do offer them, Paula. We offer about 10%, but we don't charge affiliates. We have an overnight rate for out of hours, but we don't charge affiliates any of those holiday fees or out of hours. We charge them our flat rate. So, and most of the farming work we get is early morning work anyway. So that transpires to another 20% on top of the 10, really, because we don't charge that affiliates that. But really, you know, you're not selling your client on price. You're not offering to get them the cheapest ride in New York or Chicago. You're offering to get them the best ride in Chicago and take away the hassle of arranging the ride. So you're not selling it to your client on price. You're selling the convenience and the hassle that you can take away from your client by that. Again, your client arrives in an airport at 5 a.m. in a foreign airport at 5 a.m. looking for their driver. We're managing that for the affiliate. For the PA isn't getting the phone call from our boss. We're managing that. We're making sure that the driver's on location. We're handling all of that for the client, so they get the night's sleep and they're not getting that early morning wake up call. So yes, we offer it, but I don't think it's as big a deal because and do you know what? If you're looking for a good affiliate and they don't offer it, it's not a reason not to use that affiliate. You want the best, you want the most reliable, you're not, back to Amy's point, you're not buying on price.
Yes.
You're buying on reputation.
Well said. I think that's so very true. Many times, when we're talking to membership, we'll hear, well, I think that person charges too much. Well, based on what? You're not in their market. You don't know how they operate. I think the direction for US folks is really to think about this as an extension of service to their customers. And if customers are looking for you to book in Hong Kong or to book in Amsterdam or etc., they are doing that because they have a trust relationship with you already. And usually cost is not the issue. It seems that sometimes operators feel cost is the issue. I think when you are putting yourself out there for a service, your customers come to you because they trust you, they know you, they have a relationship with you. They know they can probably call, overseas themselves, but you are offering a service of convenience. And I really encourage everyone not to be so concerned about rate as to let it distract you from what services can be given, offered to your customer. I hope I said that correctly. Did I hit it? Okay. I only had half a cup of coffee, but you guys get the idea, right? I mean, it's so much more important. If you're going to say you're global and you're going to offer these services, what you get is more important than what you're paying for. Okay, I had to put my 4 cents in. That was my 4 cents executive director commentary. Let's wrap it up. Amy, do you have any comments on discounts as well?
Yes, of course. I think, yeah, I agree on that.
Mhm.
But how about the percentage? It depends on, yeah. So I think 5 to 15 also reasonable. Yeah,
Sure.
depends on.
Thank you. All right, lastly, technology. I think all of you are using GNet. What, in addition to the fact that you use GNet, what are some of the obvious benefits to you operationally using GNet? And also, what other technologies do you use? I think we touched on them a little bit earlier, to stay in communications with affiliates that you find are the most effective, such as text messaging, WhatsApp, other technologies, etc.
I'll go down. I think the in terms of communication, I think the Facebook groups have been great. The various industry Facebook groups have been great. Everybody used to use the yellow pages, and I think that the groups have even replaced the NLA handbook with list of members, because you're actually getting recommendations from people you trust.
Yes.
Sometimes they can be a beauty pageant where friends are recommending friends, but other times it's when you see the same names popping up when you inquire about a city, that's probably the person that you need to talk to. In terms of technologies, yes, GNet is the thing, but there's nothing can beat meeting your affiliates face to face at the shows, and second to that then is the groups, not just for finding affiliates but also for sharing information and general networking as well. That they're very good.
Richard?
Yeah, well, we still have affiliates contact the drivers directly to receive status updates via WhatsApp. And they don't realize that some drivers really can be pissed off because they are receiving this text. In the Netherlands, there's a law, as a professional driver, if you're using your phone, not touching it, but you're using your phone while driving, the fee or the fine is 480 euros. So that's close to 500. Plus, it's a registration on your driver's license.
Oh dear.
So what happens is that drivers are receiving WhatsApp text messages. They are not responding, and then it's on bing, 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 couple of texts behind, because the sender is thinking he's not receiving it. The driver pulls over to a gas station just to be acknowledged with the question, "Hey, are you en route?" Then he replies back, "Yeah, not anymore because of you."
Oh my God. I shouldn't laugh, but I mean, that happens to us too. So I totally get it.
The
Yes,
worldwide
I
fraud.
don't get it. I don't get it. If they take GNet, they don't have the hassle, and the driver doesn't have it either.
I tell people that all the time. You can see
Yeah.
where they are. The status is there. Why are you calling?
Yeah.
We have a similar law, Richard, we have an ordinance in Chicago, which is a very complicated, well, it's complicated, but simple, where if the driver has passengers in the vehicle, they cannot use any device except GPS, and they can't get pulled over, and the fines are steep. And so you're right. Sometimes affiliates will call, and they're connected with us through GNet or Limo Anywhere, and they'll say, "I'm just checking to see that you're there." Well, it says I'm on the way. I think that all boils down to establishing that relationship and also building that trust. We are constantly, I mean, on a personal level, I mean, for my company, we're constantly talking to affiliates about, you woke my driver up at 3 a.m. for a 5 a.m. ride, and we put in the notes that he's 10 minutes from the customer. It's constant. And I think we have to protect our drivers and keep them sane. And one of the ways to do that is to remind people what the proper flow of communication is. Not knowing that they may even get the incorrect information because that person's actually driving and not focused on the message at hand.
And in some occasions, we already received a complaint from an affiliate that the driver was texting before he started driving. And the reason is that the driver was opening his WhatsApp while he was still standing at pickup location, just to confirm the affiliate that he had passenger on board.
Goodness
and the
gracious.
client noticed that he used his WhatsApp, but the client didn't know for what reason he was using the WhatsApp. So we received a complaint from the same affiliate that the client was using his WhatsApp. Yeah, because you asked it to send you the message.
Right. Yeah.
So it's yeah, we don't understand why we have to do it, or even being asked to share this
Right.
information via this channel, because we have all the technology there, and I don't know why they are not using it or trusting it, or we have no clue.
Occasionally I've heard people say, well, we can't be sure they really are on the way. Well, if you can't be sure after the driver has updated the status from Limo Anywhere, it's gone to GNet and you can see it, then you have a different issue, in my opinion, with your affiliate.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't think, and I sometimes feel that operators forget that they're putting the driver in the middle of all this. I mean, we do have technology and all that. Chris, you wanted to say something?
I do, yeah, hi.
Hi,
Yeah,
Chris.
that's one side of this equation. The other
Absolutely.
side is having drivers trained to actually use that technology well, too. Because I have been on GNet, and I've been on Limo Anywhere, and drivers aren't updating through Driver Anywhere where they are. You're not getting that status. So, and you call an affiliate, and the affiliate doesn't come back to you right away, or doesn't answer the phone, or whatever else the case may be. So you will reach out to a driver and say, just tell me, OTW, whatever when you have to, I always say, if you have a passenger on board, if you are driving, do not answer me. I will wait, but please let me know when you can. But that's the last resort. I've checked everywhere else first, because I want, my deal in this whole business has been for the last 15 years. My mantra is this business is 40% transportation and 60% communication. Transportation means nothing if you don't have communication, if you're not connecting drivers, and I also want to know too, when that driver's contacted that guest, and then I'm out, because those two people are happy to work together now, and the thing will flow from there. But, I really get myself worked up about that communication, because, when a driver says, well, I haven't heard anything from them, and you're, 30 minutes past a pickup point, well, we need to know these sorts of things too. So yeah, I get it. Absolutely. I love the technology. I love GNet. A lot of people have different feelings this way or that way about Limo Anywhere, but when that works, it works very, very well. So yeah, as I said, it's both, it is both ways. And as an operator and someone in charge of your own business like that and your people, that needs to be worked out through them so that they're not creating an issue. Because I'm very too. I don't want that driver upset when he's got a person in the car. If he's upset at me, that passenger is going to get some sense of that too. Thanks.
Absolutely.
But it's in general, it's most often also that you have some trust in your affiliate, because I've had it myself with an affiliate. He was not sharing status updates. He was not on a software system or whatever. And the only answer I got is, hey, why don't you call another one if you don't trust me with my operations? And it's with these status updates, of course, it's something that we have, but it's created by the industry, offering to the clients. The clients haven't been asking from the beginning. It became a kind of a selling point to get a customer. Hey, if you book with us, we are sending you status updates, etc., etc. Clients have never asked for it. So what I'm saying is that we have to put some trust in our affiliates as well, because not every country or every operator is running the same way. The most important thing is that you have that client smoothly driven by a dedicated driver, doing it the way that he thinks that's the best way in his condition or circumstances. And these status updates are only a concern of the affiliates, because yes, of course, we are not looking or waiting for a complaint, but at the moment it has already happened. It has already happened. And that a driver status update doesn't change it anymore, because it already happened. And you can, of course, you can have it, well, you can be on time to avoid it. But trust is the most important thing. You call an affiliate to take over the cares of your client, and there it starts. And some affiliates are over concerned. We experience that as well.
I think
The only thing I'd like to add there is that, affiliates make mistakes. That communication can get in front of a mistake, can get in front of a missed passenger. So those status updates help with that, right? And it also, especially when you can use mapping software and go, okay, he's going to the right location. He hasn't turned it around. I've been in the business a long time too, right? And guys with 30 years experience will show up at the hotel when the pickup's at the airport because they read a ticket backwards. All those kind of things can still happen. The technology has limited that in such a great way, And it's frustrating. Nothing frustrates me more when the technology is there, not used, and we have a problem. That's purely frustrating and can be eliminated by training people on what does exist to make sure that that communication flow works. Thanks.
Yeah, but I totally agree with you. But on the other hand, if we learn our drivers to use the driver app, and the driver are asked by other affiliates to do, besides using the driver app, a WhatsApp text message, and some are asking just 1, 2, or 3 for 1 on location, 2 for PLB, and 3 for dropped off. That's the only thing they ask. But the drivers have to do 2 different things that are not occurring all the way, all day. Because this affiliate asked 1, 2, 3, the other asked PLB, the other ones yes or a no. They're all different ways. If we teach our drivers to use the driver app and they have no other concerns responding to an affiliate, if we just say it also to the affiliate, please do not contact our driver. If you need information about the job status, call the office.
Absolutely.
The driver has to take care for the customer. We take care for your transportation. The driver is taking care for the journey.
It has to be trust. I like Amy's comment that you put in the box. Sometimes we need to cool down and give more trust to affiliates. And I think that sums it up quite nicely.
That's exactly what I mean. Yeah.
I know. She just said it more succinctly than you did. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
You wanted to make a comment? I see you're in here today.
No. Yeah. Hey guys, you know what? I hear what everybody's saying, but the bottom line is this: if your driver oversleeps because you're using their overnight service, if anything happens, it comes back to us. So we have wake up times for all of our drivers. If we have trips farmed out, we have times when we use Serbians overnight for overnight dispatch. We have times when they need to communicate with the company and see the status of the trip, driver, everything happening on time. Just kind of reconfirming it, and it's just what we do. And if it's a pain in the ass, then it's a pain in the ass. But I don't see that as being anything that I'm willing to change in the future.
But you're talking about your own drivers, correct? Not the
I'm
affiliate.
talking about affiliate drivers too.
Okay.
I'm talking about everything. So we use Livery Coach, and we have we have an option on every morning ride to put the pickup time or communication time and document that overnight dispatch reached out to them, and yes, everything's going or underway. They're going to be underway, just to make sure that they have the order. I can't tell you how many times we've done something overnight and checked and found out that the order wasn't there, or maybe the driver wasn't on his way, and we were able to correct it before it became a problem, service issue. And I don't know. I think that communication is the key. I think grid's a big key. So that we're not calling the affiliates in the middle of the night every night at the end of the shift, like 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock Central Time. We call every affiliate for our next day rides and confirm that they have our rides for the next day. Just confirm that they have it and it's there. Even though we sent it over electronically, it's just how we do it.
Mhm.
It's crucial that you take. It's crucial that you take control of your work. If you want to keep the work, you need to be in control of your work and communicating with your affiliates. And they can talk to their drivers, but their drivers sure as hell better mark themselves on the way, arrive, customer car. Whatever happens on their end, whatever software they're using, and it needs to come back into our software to call you check. That's it. That's all I had. I know that a number of affiliates were making it seem like, companies that are micromanaging stuff are kind of a pain in the ass, but I guess that's what we are. I don't know.
I totally get that, Art. I think, but I suppose the point we're making is that the phone calls, when the driver has already marked on the way, the driver isn't answering a phone call or a text message, but he has marked on the way. Absolutely, he needs a phone call if he hasn't marked himself on the way. But if he's marked himself on the way and the dispatcher is ringing to make sure that he is on the way when they can already see it electronically, that's probably the issue that we're talking about, rather than
Right.
a not.
Yeah, because at that point,
And you know
we
what,
don't know.
And the time change. We have two columns of time. One is the local time, and the other is the pickup time, which does that translation for the date and time in other countries and other cities. A lot of operators don't have that, and when they subcontract us in the States, they'll be calling us on the wrong day,
Yeah.
confirm the wrong time. So it's crucial that you have your time conversion right too.
I agree.
I'll leave you alone.
No problem. Any other thoughts, panel, before we wrap up? Anyone?
No,
Okay.
no, you covered everything, Paula. You moved it along very quickly.
I tried. Because we have to let Amy get to sleep. It's late. Anyway, no, I'm just kidding.
Okay,
She
gotta let Amy get
looks good for midnight, doesn't she? Oh my
It
goodness.
sure does.
I know. So thank you, everyone. Just a couple of final points from me. If you're not already a member of our association, please consider joining us. You'll see a link when we send out to you the notification that this recording has been posted to our YouTube channel. Also, our next meeting is in May 21st, and it's going to be in person at Luma? I don't even know. Loom's Cafe in Willowbrook. So you'll see some information coming out about that. Not sure what the topic is just yet, but we will be meeting for breakfast in person. And lastly, everyone, please save the date. Our second Great Lakes Transportation Show will be happening in August 13th to 14th in Schaumburg, Illinois, which is about 20 minutes from O'Hare Airport. We are thrilled to be working on it once again. And you will see more communications coming out from us very, very shortly, including the agenda, which we are currently working on. And I hope to see many of you there that couldn't make it last year. Are there any questions for myself or Arthur or Kaya or anybody here? Are we good? I am
all good.
so thrilled to have such a great group of people join us today. I always learn something every time we get together, and I hope you all did as well. Look for the recording in about 24 hours, and I thank everyone, especially our panel, who can now go to sleep, for joining us today and giving us your insights and your time. Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful
thank you, Paula.
Thank you, Paula, for having
Thank you,
us again.
Paula.
Thank you. Thank you
Yeah,
so
My
much.
pleasure.
Great
My
meeting.
pleasure. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Great
Bye-bye,
meeting.
everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye. Thank
Bye,
you.
everyone.
Bye-bye.